Hey guys, so today I decided, since it's been a while and I need to do this before racing season starts, that we're going to go ahead and solder some bullets onto the battery leads for my two-wheel drive buggy. Something that's needed to be done for a while and I just haven't gotten around to doing it. So here is a solder tutorial. I've done a solder tutorial in the past on connecting two wires together. This time we're going to be actually doing bullets, and I'm going to show you how to do it without having a what's that thing called? Without having a battery block on hand or some other type of device to hold your connectors in order to solder them. All I have are helping hands, so that's what we're going to be using today, since all of the rest of the helpers are pretty much on back order everywhere. Yeah, that's where we're going to start. I'm also going to show you one thing to do that is kind of important. I'm going to show you how to take these wires and make them to where you can't plug them into the wrong side of the battery and make the little the magic smoke come out of the speed controller, because they don't run without the magic smoke in them. Yeah, so let's get going. So the first thing that we need to do is have our soldering station on about 850 to 875. It's kind of my happy preferred point of soldering. And then want to make sure you get your sponge wet so that you got plenty of cleaning ability there. And then I've just got my bullets mounted in here with the channels facing me with a slight down tilt, so I can hopefully get the solder up here and it will run through the channel. These are the 1UP Racing battery bullets. I've never used them before, but I thought I would give them a shot. Because they have these nifty little things that go onto the battery caps, and I just thought that was cool. So these actually will slide over top and seat the wire in. So I'm going to move this aside and we'll bring the car over here. So as I've shown you in the past, the easiest way to get these off if you don't have wire strippers is to use some Lexan shears. Just go about a 1/16 of an inch down, or a couple of millimeters if you're using the metric system. And then just pull it off and do that on both of your wires. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to need our helping hands again to hold these in place to get solder on them. So this is where it gets tricky. So now that we've got these set up, I'm going to go ahead and take those and set them aside. I'm going to get my helping hands in here with my wire set in there well. And this will just get me a nice little spot where I can get the solder down into the wire, not just on the outside of the wire. Touch to the wire, solder to the tip, and then just keep feeding until it starts draining over the whole thing. And as soon as it does, pull off quickly to get that nice beard finish. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Just got a little glitch in my camera. All right, and that is our tinning completed on both pieces. Now you might be thinking, wow, that was so easy. I didn't really have to do much of anything. It's right, because that is how you tin wire and bullets, but not how you keep from plugging in the wrong wire. See, one of these wires actually has to be cut short before it's tinned. Now, how do we know which one needs cut down? Well, the way to know that is to get your batteries. So currently I'm using the Gens Ace 4600 milliamp batteries. These are supposedly 60C. They are a 2S2P. That means they have two in series and two in parallel. I I find that actually a 2S2P has a little bit more low end torque than like a 2S1P. So I actually prefer these over some of the more expensive batteries, and I've actually had good luck with them in the past as far as longevity. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by Genzace. I actually used to be sponsored by Onbo batteries, but they have since went out of business, but at least that I know of. But as you can see, I usually put them in on the side that the ESC sits on, which on this side, in this case, is the driver's side of the vehicle or the left side of the vehicle, if you're looking like as if you were sitting in it from a car. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and slide this into the chassis and see how long our wire needs to be. So I just cut down my positive. I'm gonna have to re-tin it because I didn't want that bunch of overhang on there. There's this much extra that I didn't need, so I'm gonna take that off. And my negative wire, I'm also gonna have come along this channel as well. And what I'll do is I'll actually bring it around the front, and this will make it to where I can do either side of the vehicle. Because like if I run a reedy battery, for instance, it's gonna be the opposite and I'll run it flipped over this way. And that will give me the right distance to where I can hit both negatives without being able to plug into the positive. So I just pull it underneath like that, line it up without getting my antenna, because I do not have my R204 GFEs in here yet. So in case you're wondering, Futaba does make a receiver that is antenna-less. It's the R204 GFE. I use it on a lot of my 10 scale stuff just to save room and less wires and, you know, antenna tubes. I did heat this one to where it stays inside the body, but nonetheless, it still is a bother to me. So I'm getting that much taken off of my negative battery terminal. So as you can see, the positive shrunk that much. Say it's probably about an inch, inch and a quarter, roughly 3 centimeters. And then this one here, as you can see, I'll get it even on that end, substantially longer. So that's how much you're gonna lose on there, and that is what's gonna keep it from being able to plug into that positive side. You can still reach it, but you have to stretch to reach it. And that's why I said that tuck under, if you tuck under, you actually can't reach it. If you get a little bit much solder on there, like I did on this one, you can see the bubble on the side. It's okay, just clean off your chisel tip really well, and you'll have a nice flat surface again. And then just grab it along the side and pull it up, and you'll get some of that on your chisel tip. You can do that a couple times to clean it up. It's perfectly normal, everybody does it. Now I'll let these cool just a little bit so I can touch them. And what I will do now is get a bullet. I will take that bullet and put it on to this one so it can have the tire to rest on. Can't really see it, but I've got it kind of just sitting on that tire over here. Once that's done, then you'll grab some pliers, which apparently I left in the garage upstairs because I've been working on the bike a lot, which if you haven't seen the pictures on my Instagram, I am rebuilding a 79 Honda CB750K. So that is a lot of fun. So I will be right back. I'm back now, got my pliers. So we're going to take our wire. I'm going to go ahead and do the positive first because it's the easiest to get to. You can see it's not quite in reach. Just get it as close as you can. Kind of use your hand for support under the other side so that you don't just tip it over. Get it lined up with your channel. You should have just enough solder in there to have a nice 10, but not enough to where you can't see that channel. Lay that wire directly over top. And you don't really have to push hard. You just have to let it start to get heated. And it should sit right down in there like it just did. You can blow on it to speed up the process of the cooling. That way you can let go of it a little sooner. Now I may or may not cap this because I don't necessarily need to since I have a red wire. If this was all black wire like the 510s are, I would definitely do it. But this is a 1000Z speed controller, so it doesn't really necessarily need that because it has that red wire. Now, granted, I haven't ran a 510R in 4 years, so I actually am not certain if they even have all black wires anymore, if they have a red wire on now. I personally find that the 1000Z is more than enough power to run on the small indoor track that I run on in the wintertime. So in Lincoln, Illinois at RJD Hobbies and Raceway, shout out to them because they are awesome people. B and Daryl have been running that track for over 20 years, I believe. So I see that one just fell right in. When you blow on it, you'll notice it get this like, it goes from this really shiny to this like, it's still mirrored, but it's kind of cloudy. That's when you know you're okay to take your pliers off. Otherwise, the wire will flip up and fling hot solder at your face, and that just kind of hurts. Anyway, make sure you roll your solder back up, set it aside. We like our cleanliness. And then you should be able to let go of that. Now that will be fairly warm. You don't really want to touch the end of that, so we'll go ahead and look at the red wire here. Red wire, let's see how these fit on here. Let's see if these even do fit on here, or if oh, look at that. These are actually gonna be handy for pulling them off as well, so that is nice. And these just literally slide on the sides, and because it's solder, it helps hold it on there with the bubble of the solder, but gives it that nice finish and easy grab. So let me grab my transmitter here. Get it turned on. Let's see what happens when we plug it in. I heard a spark. That's a positive. Look at there. I'll just turn her off, and you can see that looks really nice. And then my battery bar will, of course, go across there and hold the battery in. And there is our completed solder job on the bullets, and the motor you'd pretty much do the same way. So I can show you that another time because I don't really feel like unsoldering is something that I just recently did. Put the body back on, and aside from some camber adjustment to the rear end, she's ready to go. Obviously, I will probably have to get some new tires. These are pretty well balled since it was cambered in so much. Probably go with something similar to this. Probably go with J Concepts instead of AKA though now. Since I'm no longer sponsored by AKA, I'm not locked into them. And to be quite honest with you, I prefer J Concepts on my 10 scales. So that's the little just inside information on what I prefer. So if you like the body, Primeline Designs, amazing work. Check them out on Facebook. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm sorry that I haven't been down here doing a whole lot of recording lately between Thanksgiving and hosting Thanksgiving and then starting a new job where I'm working a lot of hours. Frankly, I haven't had time to really do much of anything other than that and work on the bike. But the bike has a resale value. RC does not. Priorities, right? Anyway, if there's anything that you'd like to know, feel free to ask me in the comments below, or you can email me at inthegrooverc21@gmail.com. Again, thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.